Dear students, now we are going to discuss the 22nd session. The topic is a characterization of planar graphs, that is Kuratowski's theorem. Okay, so we try to understand what is the characterization of a planar graph given by Kuratowski. It is also called as Kuratowski's theorem. Already in the previous class we know the Kuratowski's graphs are K5 and K33. The graphs K5 and K33 are called Kuratowski's graphs, and those two graphs are non-planar. So those two results also we have proved in the previous class. Now, a characterization of planar graphs, which is called Kuratowski's theorem. Of course, there are other characterizations for planar graphs. Out of those, this is very important characterization. So, before considering the characterization of planar graphs, we consider one simple result on subdivision of planar graphs. Already in the previous class, we know what you mean by subdivision of a graph. So that is, elementary subdivision is nothing but replacing one edge or deleting one edge and introducing one vertex and adding the new vertex to the end vertices of that edge. If E equal to UV is an edge, then replace the edge E equal to UV by a vertex W and join the vertex W with U as well as V. So the resulting graph is an elementary subdivision. Like that, if we continue the process of deleting an edge and introducing a vertex repeatedly, so we get a graph which is called a subdivision of a graph. Okay, that concept already we have discussed in the previous class. Based on that, we are going to discuss one important result, that let G be a planar graph. We are considering a planar graph. Then every subgraph of planar graph is planar. It's very obvious if you consider a planar graph and if you consider a subgraph of that. Obviously, when G is planar, H is also a planar, where H is subgraph of G. It's very obvious. When the graph itself is planar, then subgraph is obviously planar. The second one is every subdivision of a planar graph is planar. We are considering a planar graph and we are finding this subdivision of a planar graph. It implies there is no any question of non-planarity of the subdivision of a planar graph, because you are introducing one vertex in the edge. So that's why it doesn't matter if it is a planar graph, and obviously its subdivision is also a planar graph. And the third one is every subdivision of a non-planar graph is non-planar. It's very obvious. When the graph is non-planar, even if we introduce some vertices between the edges, that graph is, again, it will be a non-planar graph. Let me take one example to understand this concept. Here we have considered one graph K4. Okay, you know already K4 is a planar graph. Okay, when K4 is planar, we are introducing some edges, that is, we are finding the subdivision of the planar graph. So in the first edge, what we did, in the first edge we have introduced one vertex. Okay, then similarly in the other edge also we have introduced one vertex. So like that, we have replaced an edge by a vertex and we have joined the end vertices of that edge. So ultimately we got the subdivision of the planar graph K4. So here H1 is the subdivision of the planar graph K4. When K4 is planar, you just see the graph H1. H1 is also planar, isn't it? There is no crossover of the edges. So it's very obvious, if G is planar, then its subdivision is also a planar. Now to think of this third condition or case, we are giving one counter example for the third case. So we have considered a non-planar graph K5. Here K5 is a non-planar graph. What we did, we have introduced vertices in the edges. So that process you know already, that is called subdivision of a graph. So we got the graph H2, which is a subdivision of the graph K5. When K5 is non-planar, obviously H2, the subdivision of K5, is again a non-planar graph that we can observe in the graphs. Okay, so it implies the theorem is very simple, very obvious, and very easy to follow the proof. So with that, what we have realized? We have realized that if a planar graph is considered, then its subdivision is also a planar graph. If the graph is non-planar, then definitely its subdivision is also a non-planar graph, which gives very important basic fundamental idea about the planarity and non-planarity. Okay, so with that condition, with that idea, we are going to give a characterization of a planar graphs, and it is also called Kuratowski's theorem. Why it is called Kuratowski's theorems? Because we know the graphs K5 and K33 are non-planar graphs, and those two graphs are considered as Kuratowski's graphs. So here we are using the graphs K5 and K33. So that's why this characterization is also named as Kuratowski's theorem. So what is the theorem? A graph is planar if and only if it has no subgraph homeomorphic from K5 or K33. See the statement. Try to understand the statement properly. A graph is planar if and only if it has no subgraph homeomorphic from K5 or K33. When K5 is non-planar, K33 is non-planar, if you find the subdivision, what do you mean by homomorphic graph? Homomorphic from K5. Homomorphic from K5 is nothing but it is a subdivision of K5 only. So that graph is a subdivision of K5. So when K5 is non-planar, any subdivision of K5 is also non-planar. That follows from the previous theorem. It implies any graph which is homeomorphic from K5 or K33 is obviously non-planar. Okay, so that's why we are trying to prove this theorem. So first, it is a general theorem. First we consider a graph is planar. Then we prove that it has no subgraph homeomorphic from K5 or K33. So to prove this first part, we consider or we assume that, or we consider, suppose G is a planar graph. Suppose G is a planar graph. Since K5 and K33 are non-planar, as I said now only, K5 and K33 are non-planar. It follows that if a graph contains a subgraph homeomorphic to either of these, it is also non-planar. So therefore, what we have considered, it is a planar graph. But what we are getting, a contradiction. We are getting a non-planar graph. So it implies which is a contradiction to our hypothesis. Thus, G has no subgraph homeomorphic from K5 or K33. Okay. So first part very easily we have proved. Now the converse part of this theorem. So what would be the converse part? Conversely, suppose a graph G has no subgraph homeomorphic from K5 or K33. We are considering a graph which has no subgraph homeomorphic to K5 or K33. So we need to show G is planar. Okay, we need to show G is planar because it's the general result. On the other hand, also it must be true. But we consider it is a non-planar graph. Though we need to prove it is planar graph, but we consider it as a non-planar graph. With this assumption, we analyze and then we get a contradiction to the hypothesis. So later we conclude it is planar. So directly I said we are going to prove this as a planar graph. I have assumed it is non-planar, and I am saying with this assumption we analyze and we get a contradiction. But how to get to that contradiction? What is the way? Then we can say it is a contradiction to hypothesis. Then we conclude that it is a planar graph. So it is very easy to say, but the converse part is beyond the scope to understand, because we need some more lemmas, some more ideas. It is not so easy to follow the proof of the second part. That's why we have proved the first part, but second part we are saying this proof is beyond the scope of the students to understand. Okay, so that's why we omit the half part of this theorem. Okay, so with that directly we move on to the next session. Before that, we will see what we have discussed in this session. In this session, we have discussed a result on subdivision of a planar graph with example. What was the result? The result says if G is a planar graph, then its subdivision is also a planar. If G is non-planar, then its subdivision is also non-planar, which has given an important idea to prove the general result. What was the result? The result says a graph is planar if and only if it has no subgraph homeomorphic from K5 or K33. So in that half part we have proved, we have considered a planar graph and we have proved it has no subgraph homeomorphic from K5 or K33. But the converse part is beyond the scope of students to understand. That's why we are not considering the proof of the second part. Okay, so this is what we have discussed in this session. With this we conclude today's lecture. These are the reference books already I have mentioned to you in the previous class also. So thank you.